Okay, got it. So I'm just checking here. Setting up your meeting for custom streaming service. Okay, I can see the progress bar loading. Now I need to quickly turn off the sound. Let me check back here. Yeah, looks like we're live now. I can turn off this window. And this. All right. So let's first have a look at the chat. Sato saying hello to everyone. Hello, everyone. Good to have you all here. So, yeah, I mean, we've been wondering what to talk about today. And actually, there's not much to wonder about because the past days have given lots of stuff to talk about, to discuss. You know, what happened? Is the crypto space about to implode, right? I mean, we've seen Luna crash down, Celsius go bankrupt, or I don't know if they're bankrupt, but you know, all these things that have happened over the past weeks. And now recently, was FTX the second biggest exchange next to Binance? I'm not 100% sure. Have to admit, I haven't done my homework in this case, but I think it was the second largest exchange worldwide. Now get that, the second largest exchange. So there's Binance, clearly number one, no discussion about that. Number two, FTX. And I don't know, Luis, I'm curious what you have to say about this, but to me, it felt like I was watching, you know, the Wall Street movie, Michael Douglas, back from the, was it 80s or 90s? Yes. And how he did that, you know, deal and how to buy and sell shares. And he like kind of like, I don't know the word here. He actually scammed the people, but he did it in such a way that even since he was the bad guy, you were like, oh, there's something we can learn from him. Yeah, you get what I mean? So yes. One thing that really, to be honest here, one thing I wondered was like, did Mr. CZ like set this whole thing up to get rid of his competitor, you know? And I'm sure that, I mean, there's lots of rumors about exactly this. And even if it's true or not true, at the end of the day, he did get rid of his biggest competitor. And another interesting question that I keep asking myself, because I think it was one of these like trading YouTube channels that I watched in the past. And I remember the guy talk about, you know, the whole hen and the egg debate. And in this case, it's like, okay, is the market, oh, we have our numbers guy joining, let's let him in. Is the market crashing because of the event? Or is it like the market was crashing anyways, and now we're looking for a reason? In this case, it might be actually that event that has caused, you know, the big sell-off that we've seen yesterday and the day before. But often it might actually be the other way around, that, you know, it was just time to start a sell-off, and then you have, you know, the domino effect going on, and then you have long, you know, liquidations, and so long squeeze, price comes down, and then people start looking for reasons like, oh, why did the markets crash? But I'm very, very glad that Alberto just joined, because I think I couldn't think of anyone more you know, in the right position to talk about these things than our lead designer, our numbers guy right here, Alberto. So Alberto, just to let you know, we just started talking about the recent events, you know, FTX and the whole thing that happened and how it may have caused the sell-off. And yeah, what's your opinion, you know, on these things and on the general market conditions? I mean, we are clearly in the bear market. There's no discussion about that. And then, you know, events like this, they work like a catalyst. And, you know, the selling may have happened anyways, but then if something like this comes up, people just go crazy. They start panicking, and we see those long red candles, which, by the way, in my personal opinion, is the best opportunity for anyone who sees the whole thing long term to get in at, at the possible bottom. I mean, it could get even lower, but how much lower? What are your thoughts on this, Alberto?
Hello. Yes, apologies because of the change in the day savings or daylight savings. I'm always late to this thing, so yeah, apologies first. And yes, can you hold it like 1 minute? Sorry, 1 second.
No issues. This is also causing me lots of trouble. For example, our little son, how people have that their clocks, into their biology, and you always wake up at the same time every day. And since we move the clocks backwards, it just feels like everyone's waking up 1 hour earlier. Naturally, and then you're like, oh, I still have 1 hour left. Therefore, from a biological context, my personal belief is that the whole daylight savings thing, it doesn't make much sense. It just gives you some sort of a jet lag twice a year. So I'm glad for those countries who don't have it. I wish Europe would also get rid of it as well.
Yeah, all right. It will take some time, I guess. But yes, sorry. So as I was saying, yes, apologies first, and then yes, we can get into this discussion about the markets and all that. Well, I think it's important to note that this only happens because some people are too greedy, right? And they try to get whatever crypto offers them, and then some, And we've had a lot of examples like this one, and I think, well, this may not be the last one, but it's certainly the latest one, right? And it's probably one of the biggest, that's for sure. But you need to understand that this situation comes about thanks or due to what happened with Luna. If you remember, months ago, there was the Luna affair. Luna crashed down, and with Luna, a lot of money disappeared, and a lot of funds that were invested in crypto disappeared, right? And one of the funds that disappeared, although it didn't at the time, was Alameda. And Alameda is a fund that got rescued by FTX, and this made the position of FTX very weak. And now we are seeing what happens when your situation is very weak, and you are easily attacked. And FTX got attacked in the way of people selling the token, and it went down. And the only reason this happened is because yes, they tried to do too much, and it was impossible, of course. So I think it's important to understand from this situation that you need to be careful, when it comes to where you put your money, and it's also important to understand that sometimes maybe you don't need to make as much money as you can, because sometimes when the offer is too good, it's usually too good, and I think everybody needs to understand this part. So this may sound a bit sad, but it's actually what happened, and I think it's better if you understand the reasons why. Can you hold it 1 second? Sorry, I'm outside and I have my dog. 1 second.
Yeah, I was just I was just thinking about if it sounds too good, it's probably too good to be true. So in that context, hopefully our product is not too good, it's simply good, right, Luis?
Absolutely. It's actually one of the, I would say is for an investor that has a long-term mindset to say, I am building something long, and I am working on my children's fund, education fund, or I'm working on my bigger goals than that, long-term goals, other than having a quick buck and going to the next thing. So I was thinking when we as we were going through this week, I was thinking about one friend of mine asked me a question, what would I do in such circumstances? Number one, I say to him, I would acquire knowledge and study history. What do I mean history? Financial history. Financial history, if you look at the past financial market crashes, you understand how the markets move, and you'll understand how to position yourself where you are towards where the market is heading to. So it's not the first time where we had market crash, not just crypto crash, but we had, if you look at 1929, we had the worst crash in history, right? Looking at, if I'm correct, the figures, it was around about 89% of the market crash. That is in 1929. So this is not just the beginning. It's not something new. It's been there, and it happens, and it will yet to happen again in the near future. So it's very important for us as investors and as entrepreneurs and as people or users in GYM Network to understand the flow of the markets, the history of the financial markets. So I spoke about the 1929. Then we have another market crash that took place in 1973, right? In 1973, we will, when you look at the numbers, it was almost 50% of the market crash. Those were the times of the economic recession and the oil crisis, especially in US. And it was one of the market crashes that costed a lot of people jobs, financial, their savings, and so forth. Then we look at 2008. Most of you understand that part because most of you are still alive and are still here. We have experienced the 2008 market crash, yes. So in 2008, the figures, they should be around 50%, 50 to 60% in terms of the market loss. So this is not just the beginning. It's not the first time to have the market crash. And we had a market crash in 2000, year 2000. In the bubble age, in the dot-com bubble age, we had a market crash in 2000. So it's not the beginning. And in 2000, the market crashed up to 77%, almost 80%. So this is not the first time, which means that as investors or as entrepreneurs, we have to understand the pattern of the financials or the financial global markets. And not only that, recently, 2020, recently, we had the market crash during the COVID-19 period. And we all know this. Most people lost their jobs. Most companies were closed down. And some companies haven't even, some closed down. Some are still trying to get back to their feet. So these are the other market crashes. It's not just these ones, but there are some. I'm just highlighting the few that I can remember right now. So it shows us that this is not something that happens once off. It's been there and it keeps happening. So now we have to understand that if there is a market crash like right now, we are speaking about the crypto market crash. It's not only crypto. There is a global market crash, financial crisis right now. So the question will be, as an investor or as a user of GYM Network or GYMSTREET, the question will be in the crypto space will be where we are right now. The first question will be that I can pose to you, Timur and Alberto. Are we at the deep? Is it the end of it, or we are yet to go deeper? We are yet to go down. So that's the question that I'll be asking myself right now as an investor and as a user. All right. So that would be the first question to you before we can proceed. What are your thoughts regarding to this? Is this the deep, or the market might go down, or it might go up? What are your thoughts regarding to this crypto crash?
Yes, I'd say that well, it's one less entity left to go bankrupt, right? So I mean, of course, these events can happen, and what's important to understand is that a company not behaving correctly, right? If you have a bank, as FTX pretty much was, and you don't have enough reserves to back the deposits of your users, then you are behaving badly, and this could come, to your disadvantage, and you may go bankrupt. And this is what happened, but this is not the fault of anybody outside of this company, right? So this doesn't mean anything to crypto in general, or to whichever project in particular. So that's important to understand. And of course, as crypto is a sector, like the banking industry is a sector, it can be affected by these situations. But and it's impossible to precise or to let's say to guess whether this is the last one or there are more companies. Usually when this happens, there's more contagion, right? As I said before, this is happening because of what happened to Luna 6 months ago. So who knows, maybe in 6 months, somebody goes bankrupt because of what happened to FTX today, So this it's impossible to know. But what's important to understand is that this doesn't mean anything to the crypto industry as a whole, right? It only speaks of the way or the business model of a particular entity, in this case, FTX. And I think speaking of GYMNETWORK and GYMSTREET, I think it's important to compare the two, because you can see that in the GYMNETWORK, for instance, you deposit BNB and you can always see that BNB over there, right? Or BUSD. So you have a full view of where your money is. When it goes into the vault, it doesn't go anywhere else, right? So it doesn't disappear as it could happen, in other platforms, like it happened in FTX. And similarly with GYMSTREET and the tokens, I'm sorry, the NFTs, it's even better, because the NFT, it's in your possession, right? So you buy the NFT and then the NFT is with you. So if it's with you, for sure, it's not with anybody else. So they cannot then lend it to somebody and then lose it, right? The NFT, you buy the NFT is in your possession, and you hold the NFT. If you lose it, you lose it, but nobody's going to lose it for you. So I think that's important. That's also important to understand, the difference between different systems, because maybe you see something like FTX imploding, and you think, oh, all crypto is going to implode. Well, no, because every crypto project is different, and it depends on how they work and what they do with the funds that they have, if they have any, or what they do with as a business. And in this case, I think the NFTs are the safest the safest way to go, because the NFT, as I said, it's in your wallet, and nobody can touch your wallet unless you let them. I think that's important to understand.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
If I can go back to what you just said, Alberto, you are saying that if you don't own the keys, it's not your money, right? Is it what you're saying?
Yeah, sorry, I was muted. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Not your keys, not your coins. Yeah. Or not your keys, not your NFTs in this case.
So if it's not your keys, it's not your money. If it's not your keys, it's not your NFTs. So it's very important that you get to understand that part. So with the DeFi that we are in, especially with GYMNETWORK and GYMSTREET, you are in control of your funds, you are in control of your money. So first of all, that what I understood, Alberto, was that when you are venturing into the space, you must be willing to take full responsibility of your money. You must be willing to take full 100% responsibility, meaning that it's your keys, meaning you are in charge. You are the one that can do anything with your money, no one else. So with GYMNETWORK, you are saying that you have an opportunity whereby you have your BNB in the decentralized protocol where you deposit your BNB, and it's there. With market crash, instead of selling your BNB, you rather just deposit it there, and Wiley is giving you that passive reward for you. So with what you just said, for me, it will be answering a question of what I was asked. What will I do what would I do in the crypto crash? I would look for a platform or a protocol like GYMNETWORK, as you said, where I can deposit my BNB and leave it there while it's generating rewards for me without touching it, right? So that's one of the other things. And GYMNETWORK, you are able to GYMNET deposit on the single pool. This is what Alberto was talking about. So you are in control in such decentralized network or protocol. So that's what Alberto is talking about. So it's important that you understand as a user of the protocol or crypto enthusiast or a crypto investor to understand this part. So now I would ask Timur, what's your take in this?
Just 1 second. I was currently slightly distracted by looking at the chat. So I'm just telling the people that, remember, AMA stands for Ask Me Anything. So just as a reminder, this is first and foremost what this is meant for. Of course, we like to just update you from our ends what we think. Also, our mods, as they are having close contact to the community in our official Telegram group, they also forward some of the questions or the general mood that they're currently seeing. And of course, today the question was mainly about, like, hey, the current market situations and what's our take on it, and also our perspective, and in what context are we positioning ourselves? How can we? And again, this would be good to undermine with some like facts and figures here from our lead designer, knowing that in the long run, and Luis, you've just mentioned it, that what we are doing here, this is not the quick in and out, make 100x in 2 days or whatever. If you want to do that, go find the next casino. You may be lucky, or most likely you won't be. However, our goal, our objective is to build a platform to provide you with a place where everyone can come, where you can educate yourself, of course, as we're also going to be adding an education platform into GYMSTREET with the university. And we're working on these things behind the scenes constantly. Our developers, I'm not sure if they sleep anymore or not, but it doesn't matter what time of the day you send the messages, you always almost get instant, replies. Sometimes it may take a while, of course, especially in this context. I can just mention when people are having, support inquiries, and sometimes these may include that, you would need to get some feedback, or one of the developers would have to go take a deeper look into the system of what's happening here or there in particular. So our apologies if sometimes it's taking longer than expected. The only recommendation I would like to make here is, like, as weird as it might sound, get on their nerves, just after 3 days or so, just send another polite message, of course, saying, hey, look, can you please take a look into it? I understand that you're busy, but I need your answer on my support request. And other than that, of course, you can come here, you can place your questions here as well. We also take them from our mods. Regarding one of the things that they mentioned was that we still have some members who are trying to access our old platform. Now, to help you understand that, there was like a time window that we had for this, and you can still go to old.gymnetwork.io and the token swap. It should actually still be working. I haven't checked it, to be honest, would have to do so. However, you also need to understand that we do inform you well in advance. We do let the people know, like, okay, this is how much time we are giving, everyone, like 2 months, 3 months to do your transfer from the current version to the next version. And this is again taking responsibility, since you are connecting with your wallet to our platform, like we are providing the platform for you to connect to use all the services, and of course also provide support when it comes to how to use these services, and if things aren't working the way that they're supposed to. However, it's also important that you somewhat do your due diligence, come back regularly, check our Telegram posts and so on, check our YouTube channels if there is any updates, any new tutorials, stuff like that. Watch our webinar recordings. Often we also use them as a ways of communication, and of course our weekly AMA session as we're having it right now. This is the perfect chance for you. On the other end, I understand that there's many of our community members who simply don't speak English well, they don't understand English. So in that case, they might have to work with translation tools, and it's somewhat inconvenient. But if you're from Korea, from Japan, we also offer Chinese since last week. Also, we offer the German webinars, so there are at least 4 foreign languages besides English where people can also inform themselves in their local language. But yeah, back to the topic. So I think one must understand that we're in this for the long run. So everything that we're working on today, yes, short term, we are, fixing around things, and we're going through many changes from, initially from GYM protocol to GYMNETWORK, then from version 1 to version 1.5 to version 2. And every time, like, people, they had to like swap their tokens and adapt to the new logic behind our affiliate system and all these things as we keep evolving. And yeah, it's just, how can I say it? Currently, it's well, it always will be part of the game, especially since we're still in that early development stage. However, all these changes are for the greater good. So in the long run, we're aiming at getting better and better and better. With every update, we improve the platform. We make it easier for you to use. When things aren't working, we take your feedback. For example, if fees are too high, sometimes bear with the developers. Maybe they can't always know in advance and like for 100% if we apply this or that update or this functionality, how will it affect the fees? Because in the background, the smart contracts, they have to run all these calculations. Of course, they know the more calculations there are, the higher the fees will be. For example, with the electricity vouchers that we have recently taken, off the system again, in order to reduce the fees to claim your rewards. And all these things, especially when it comes to the affiliate system, doing this on a smart contract, blockchain based, is something PackShield is giving us the feedback that, guys, the smart contracts we're getting from you for auditing, they're so unique. We have never before audited anything like this. So our developers, they are like, really, they're not reinventing, they're inventing new wheels here. This is also important to understand. And sometimes it may go under, on all the things that we talk about, and inform you that also bear in mind that this is a highly complex system that's running in the background to provide you these services. And we're here to build a metaverse, the first financial district in the metaverse. And all of these things, they're not only smart contract based and you connect your wallet and then you click some buttons. Down the road, a few years from now, you will be able to get your VR glasses, put them on, and immerse yourself into our financial district in a full 3D environment and interact with our products that way. And we're already working on all these things also in the background to make it happen. And as you can see, if you come to our website, you take a look at the map, you will see how we put more and more of these images there to give you at least an idea of what it is going to look like once we get there, once we will be ready. This is going to be like what we call the 2.5D version until we get to the full 3D version, right? And now, yes, we are in a bear market phase. me personally, Luis, I must admit that I haven't really studied like all the recent, market crises from 1929 and 73. I mean, I've lived through 2008, of course. I haven't been affected by it too much myself because I wasn't personally invested so much. And since I fell in love with the crypto space since 2017, I also have to admit that I'm somewhat in a bubble, only looking at what the cryptocurrency space is doing, but forgetting about that there are also regular markets like S&P 500s or NASDAQ, or whatever that regular people could also invest in. And this cryptocurrency space, it's like somewhat having its own life within this bubble. Everything is happening in much shorter time frames. Within a year you see Bitcoin go 10x, 20x, whatever. Other cryptocurrencies that come out new, they make 100x within 1 year. And then the problem here is, Luis, and getting back to what you just said, people, they get used to this. They're like, if I don't make 100x, it's not interesting. And they forget about that, in the regular markets, if someone's offering you like 5% a year on a savings account, everyone's like, whoa, 5%. I mean, just go back 20, 30 years, you'd go crazy for 5%. And anything more than that, it also means taking on more risk. And I personally, I believe, or I'm afraid that many of us, they forget about that. That's also what we're doing. We're taking on risk. Now, again, to GYMNETWORK, GYMSTREET, as Alberto says, coming from the traditional investment space, Alberto, correct me if I'm putting this in a wrong way, but I've heard you explain to us that this was also one of your major objectives to allow the people, the regular person, to get their foot into the cryptocurrency space, but in a safe way. That's why we researched the market and came up with Alpaca Finance as being, the most reliable yield farming and lending platform on the Binance Smart Chain, now BNB Smart Chain. They're, audited by 20 different companies. So their smart contracts, they're like safe, okay? And that's where your cryptos end up. So if you place your BNB, make a deposit in the vault, they go to Alpaca Finance's platform that's, audited so many times. And from our end, it looks very much like almost failure proof. Of course, we always have to put the almost, because nothing can be like 1000% failure proof. There's always some risk to anything that we do here. And we also do our best to educate you, knowing that we are getting many new people who are also new to cryptocurrencies, who are new to DeFi, and they have to learn these things, how to set up a wallet, to secure your private keys, write down that key phrase, your 12 words, put them in a safe place, don't share with anyone, but make sure that you write it down and store somewhere and in a safe place. But remember where that safe place is. I can remember myself. Fortunately, it wasn't about a crypto wallet, but I put something in such a safe place, thinking that, this, some important document. I mean, it wasn't that important that I couldn't get the issue solved otherwise. But the thing is, I remember I needed these documents and I forgot the safe place where I put them. So of course, this is not a good thing, and obviously not the best example here to follow. Just to tell you that things like that also happen, right? And what we also know is that a lot of the Bitcoin, for example, are lost forever because of people who have lost their seed phrases. They just can't access their wallets anymore. No one knows for sure how many Bitcoin there are that are lost due to these things. And now what I would like to do, I would come back here, stop my ranting and chanting here. This was just now my opinion on that. But what the people also need to know now in times of uncertainty, it's up to us, as the platform providers, the one, working behind the scenes to give you hope, to give you perspective, and to keep you, resting assured that this is a safe place, the right place for you to be in, and why we believe, of course, and why we why we believe to an extent that we almost feel sure that this is going to be successful down the road because of the things we're doing today and the objectives that we're going after to make this a long-term success. So we have the buy and burn mechanism, integrated. Every NFT sale, we're going to use a portion to buy back our own tokens. So we have that deflationary effect already integrated by default within the smart contracts. Of course, you see, the price go down at the moment, but then if you compare it, you can already tell that our community in particular, they're not, panic sellers. So you see the whole market dump over the past days. And if you put it in context, the GYMNET token has somewhat, flattened out. And for example, I've just taken a look here, and I see that our trading volume has gone down like 90% over the past 24 hours. So normally you would think that if there's like panic selling happening, the volume should go up, because there's a lot of selling happening there. In our case, the volume is going down, so there's less selling happening here. And at the same time, people are sensing that, hey, this is also a good opportunity to get back in. And it sure is, because again, in the long run, we have the price stabilizing mechanisms integrated. And even short term, it may seem like, prices are falling. Yes, of course, there's nothing to deny about it there. But then if you look at the market as a whole, prices are falling everywhere. Solana is down 90%. Do you think that's, a trustworthy project? Is it like something worth investing in over the long run? Well, probably yes. Do we know for sure? No. What we know for sure is the efforts that we put into GYMSTREET to make things happen, and that we're not only providing you with a rewards token, that will also become a utility token more and more as we add more products into the future. All these things that will come, and everyone who keeps that long-term perspective, you don't forget about that. This is a long-term game. You stop thinking in short time frames like 3 months, 6 months. That's just too short. You need to give it some time. And then a few years down the road, after 4, 5, 6 years, when the token calendar, the token emission is going to stop, well, the buy and burn will keep going, So even during that time, it may not have that like price pump effect, but it's still happening. It will happen over and over and over constantly. Every time someone buys a miner, buy and burn. And once GYMNET rewards can't be used to issue as rewards tokens anymore after the token emission is done, there will be new mechanisms. There will be other mechanisms to issue mining rewards, for example. All these things are already being considered and being thought about and are being planned for the future. But now I would love to give the word again to our lead designers, so not to cut you guys off. And since we are already 40 minutes into this call, it's easy to keep talking. There's so much actually once you're into it. Before the AMA, I was like, what are we going to talk about today? And now it's like, okay, now it's time to stop talking. All right, Alberto, please be so kind and give some specific insights, about the future of GYMNETWORK and GYMSTREET, about the NFTs, land miners, and to help people understand why putting this in a long-term perspective makes so much sense, and how they may rely on us, and how this will, from our perspective, as we see it, be a good investment for them.
Yes, well, I want to be brief because, as you said, we're already 40 minutes into this, but I basically want to speak about something that you said before, which was that the main goal of the GYMNETWORK platform was, to make it approachable, so easy to use, and also safe, as safe as possible, right? And that's why we went with Alpaca. But I have to say that we didn't stop there, right? Because yes, Alpaca is pretty safe. I mean, it's the safest option that we were able to find. But when your money leaves your wallet and it goes through the vault to Alpaca, it stays with Alpaca, right? And this is a small risk, but still a risk. And this is the reason why we continued to work on the system, and we went into the GYMSTREET and the Metaverse and the NFTs, because when we build the Metaverse, in the Metaverse, there are no, this issue doesn't happen, right? In the Metaverse, it's impossible to have the situation that right now is occurring at the FTX, or that has occurred in the past to other projects that have, you know, used the user funds in a way that wasn't allowed. So yeah, we that was the goal initially, and it continues to be the goal, of course. And this is why the system moved to the Metaverse, because in the Metaverse these things don't happen because you are the holder of of the assets. And that's why it's important to, if you haven't already, you know, look into the GYMSTREET, and if you have funds in the vault, you may be thinking, well, I mean, I earned quite a lot from the vault. I may go to the to GYMSTREET and purchase NFTs and continue to earn from the NFTs, but in this case, without losing the keys to your assets. And I think that's why we continued to build in this way. So I think that's important for everybody to understand. And yes, having said that, well, it's a hard market, and one reason why the token is falling, of course, is not because of people selling. As you said, the volume is not that high. It's mostly because of the fall in other assets that have higher volume, like BNB and BUSD. Well, not USD, of course, but the BNB, which are falling. And yeah, if the price of BNB falls, the price of GYMNET also falls. So yeah, that's also important to understand. And yes, I think that's all the color I can add to what Timur already shared with you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much, Alberto. And maybe again, one more thing, we've shared this also in a post. There was this like 2 lessons learned from the Binance CEO, CZ. And it was very interesting to realize that we are actually doing the same things right. At that the Binance CEO is saying that these are the lessons that he has learned, how to do things right. And so yeah, that's also maybe for you something to keep in mind, that the people behind the scenes here, also our lead designer Alberto, they're always seeking ways, okay, how to keep the community safe. Of course we want to provide access, but to investment opportunities, or like with the mining, the NFT miners, those are like new technologies, and they bear a certain risk, compared to the common ones. But at the same time, how can we provide that access for the average person to make it, less risky in that way? So, but again, I think one of the key takeaways from today should be that with, a full control comes also full responsibility, meaning that you need to educate yourself at least about like how to install the wallet and keep my key safe and all these things. And yeah, also don't connect, to the wrong websites. Make sure to stay away from any scam projects. Don't fall, into any offers. Also, scammers who try to trick you into believing that they are us. That also happens. So one must be very careful. That's also important to understand, and double check, triple check everything. The best thing is, of course, to always come to our website at GYMSTREET.io, GYMNETWORK.io, on our dashboards. There you find the token addresses, and also only get the information from our official Telegram group and groups and channel. And make sure that you always double check that that's actually it. If you see any message pop up from some wrong scam group, at first glance it may look as if it's from us, but then you should recognize, for example, that there are no previous messages and there are no, it says GYMNETWORK channel, but it's actually not our channel. So yeah, that's for one thing. Alberto, the last thing I would love for you to answer right here, Burke just asked, he's saying that I wonder something, let's say all lands are sold out, right? We are limited to 210,000 land parcels in the GYMSTREET metaverse. And we also upgraded our lands. And now he wants to increase his hash rate. So he cannot purchase new lands, right? Everything is sold out. He has upgraded everything. How would he be able to increase his hash rate at that point?
Yes, so he will not be able. Of course, he can always purchase miners from other users who may be willing to sell. By then, it's likely that we would have launched the marketplace and all that. But yeah, it's a game where there's a finite amount of hash rate, and at the point where everything is sold, of course you cannot buy more hash, you cannot buy more space to put on more hash rate. But there are two things you could do. As I said, first one, you can purchase land from other users who may be willing to sell. If you think, okay, I don't want to mine anymore, I want out, you can sell your land. You will be able to do so. And you could also purchase better performance miners, right? We will launch at some point better miners that have that are more potent than the current miners, and one of these miners will be maybe as potent as two current miners. So you could take out your current miners and put more modern miners, and these will be mining more than what you are doing at the moment.
Yeah, see, and with that answer, also you gave that information again, that we are constantly working on improving the platform, seeking new ways, how to add more value to our users. And then in the coming weeks, we're also going to share, of course, more future plans and about also, what other mining technologies for the virtual miners, because there are so many possibilities here. It's almost endless. Now it's about narrowing down, deciding which route to go. But there are many very interesting things here already happening, and being worked on and researched, so to come to a decision which will be next. Of course, in the near future, our crypto card, we're at the moment just waiting for the card provider actually to provide us with the dashboard and so on. It has to be provided by them, and then it needs to be approved again. So once these things are done, we'll be able to start issuing our crypto card, the Cash FT card. And then by the end of the year, or at the latest, early next year, we'll release the World Stake Center, which will allow you to stake just about any cryptocurrency, right, and earn up to 20% APR on it. So it's more or less like an extension of the vault that is not limited to BNB and BUSD only. But more on that, when we get there. For today, I'd say let's call it a day, and I would love for Luis to wrap it up, because no one does it better than you. Oh, but first you should unmute yourself so we can hear your lovely voice.
Thank you, Alberto. Thank you, Timur, for the insights and what is happening and where we are heading to. And we'd like to say thank you once more again to the developers. They have sleepless nights, as Timur had said already. The team is behind the scenes working very hard to make sure that GYMNETWORK and GYMSTREET becomes one of the best platforms in the world for you to have easy access to finance through Metaverse, in the Metaverse, right? So with that being said, currently we have the market, the fear, everyone is gripped by fear in the marketplace right now. And remember, the word fear, it stands for false evidence appearing real, right? So what would you do for yourself right now as an individual, as a user in GYMNETWORK? What would you do? Is the question that you should be asking yourself. What should I be doing right now? Everyone is fearful. Everyone is scared of something that they don't know. They don't know what tomorrow might be like. They don't know what next year might be like. They don't know what next month will be like. So with that, you must be putting yourself in a position of power by asking yourself a question to say, what can I do from where I am right now in positioning myself for the best tomorrow, right? So now I've got few suggestions. These are not financial advices, but few suggestions. Number one, you can hold what you have right now, be it GYMNET token. You can hold it. It's one of the advices. Number two, if you've got that BNB, hold it. Any crypto asset, hold it. Number two, you can buy more assets using the dollar cost average strategy, meaning that from where you are right now, you know exactly your strategy as an individual, but now you have to create that strategy to say every month or every week or every month or every day. It's up to you. I'm buying cryptocurrencies worth $10, $100, $1,000, $5,000 every month. And this is how you structure it, right? So this is what you can be doing while everyone is scared, because everyone doesn't know what to do. They are crippled. They are so scared and fearful, which means they are just afraid of something that appears to be real, but is false, right? And then number three, while you have bought that cryptocurrency, that while you have bought that BNB or BUSD or GYMNET token, you can utilize GYMNETWORK platform whereby you deposit that BNB or BUSD in the vault, and it gives you rewards on a day-to-day basis, all right? While now you are positioning yourself, right? So that you are at the top. When the boom is coming, you are already at a position whereby you get to the top. 9. Not only that, if you buy GYMNET tokens right now, put them on the single pool, leave them there, let them generate rewards for you every single day. So it's up to you. You can create a strategy of DCA every week or every month. You buy GYMNET token, you buy BNB, you deposit there and leave it there while it works for you. While everyone else is so scared, while everyone else is crippled by fear, saying that things are getting worse and bad, you position yourself in power by saying, what can I do? Then lastly, not the least, if you are not in a position to buy, let's say, or to create your crypto portfolio by $1,000 every month or $500 every month or $100 every month, find an affiliate opportunity. Find an affiliate opportunity whereby you can put in the work and be rewarded for, right? When you are rewarded, you can divide using the dollar cost average and buying those assets and utilize these platforms in order to empower yourself to become your own bank. So we have an affiliate solution layer within GYMNETWORK and GYMSTREET. Okay, so it's so easy. All you do is to come in on board if you are not yet part of the users in GYMNETWORK and participant in GYMNETWORK. So you have that opportunity again to use the affiliate solution whereby you'll be rewarded by inviting or sharing about the products and the services that we offer within GYMSTREET. So this is not a financial advice, but these are just suggestions of things that you can utilize as an individual. So my call to you today is, are you in a position of power? Have you put yourself in a position of power? Only those who are taking that responsibility, only those who are saying, I am going to the top and I've made up my mind. My decision is to be at the top. Remember, this system is designed for you for easy access to finance. With that being said, remember the bottom is always overcrowded and everyone currently, the majority is at the bottom and crying, crippled by fear. But it's entirely your choice to make that decision and commitment to get started. And it's entirely your choice to make that decision to say, I am taking that decision to say, I am getting started. And now I will be consistent. If you are already a user, I'll be a consistent user of GYMNETWORK or GYMSTREET products and services for me to get to the top. And this is where we want to see you at, because the bottom is overcrowded and the top is entirely yours. So it's entirely up to you. Choose either to go to the top or to remain at the bottom. The boom market is coming. Where will you be? Your position, right now is the time to position yourself. And remember what Sisi said, Timur, you said that if you cannot hold long enough, if you can hold long enough, you deserve to be rich, you will be rich, okay? So this is what happens with the crypto market. And we are looking forward to seeing you again next week. And remember, the bottom is overcrowded and you deserve, and you see you at the top. We'll see you at the top. We'll see you at the top, because that's where you belong as an individual and as a GYMNETWORK and GYMSTREET user. We are looking forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Have a magnificent weekend with your family. Bye for now.
Thank you so much, Luis. Also, bye from my end. Looking forward to seeing you all again next week.